Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Endless Encouragement with host Myra Hunt. Today's date is October 13th. I hope everyone had a blessed week. I know that I did. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/learning the Lord. Also follow this podcast at blogtalkradio.com/LTLN. Also, subscribe to our Endless Encouragement channel on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/learning the Lord and tell your friends and help my ratings. Also, all shows are also posted on iTunes. Just search Endless Encouragement. Please go to our website at learningthelord.com and sign up for our newsletter. And if you'd like to be a writer for our newsletter, just email learningthelord.com@gmail.com and just put in the subject newsletter. All your submission must be original. No payments at this time are for articles. And coming soon is our Indie Resources, which is dedicated to our independent, inspirational, and Christian artists. The show will debut around early 2014. It'll be during the midday, playing gospel and jazz, anything that's inspirational, motivational type music. So if you know of anyone who's inspirational or Christian artist who is looking to get their name out there, just tell them about learningthelord.com website. I'm so excited about that. Also, just remember, we are an affiliate partner with ChristianBooks.com and iTunes, so any sales coming from those websites will help me fund this podcast. So please go to the website, learningthelord.com, and click on either ChristianBooks.com or iTunes and make a purchase so that I can continue to bring forth encouraging and inspirational message to you. Follow me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Our call-in number is 917-889-3203. This morning, I got up this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning after going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'm glad I did because this morning I did an American Cancer Society walk. It was for the breast cancer walk. And I normally do about 2 walks a year, one for cancer and one for the heart. So with this being October, I made in this encouragement that theme for this month is all about health because your mind, body, and soul have to be all aligned together in order to properly function. And since this is October Breast Cancer, I'm encouraging all women to make sure that you do get your yearly mammogram exam. If you have not done so, please call and make an appointment and make sure that you are getting those yearly checkups. It's very important that you do that. But just thinking about today as I was walking, I was thinking about, like I said, our mind, body, and soul, and how all three have to be aligned properly to function. And I thought about, my past shows has been about the mind, and this month is all about the body and, getting fit, getting your body fit and eating the right foods. So joining us today is Chef Amadeus, who travels around the world cooking delicious foods. And, oh, my goodness, you should see the food that he posts on his Facebook page. I just want to go through the computer sometimes and eat his food. But let's bring him on, and he's going to talk to us about how he became a chef and just delicious, healthy foods that we can prepare. And also he has a line of salt-free spices. Chef Amadeus, are you there?
I am here.
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing absolutely wonderful.
Awesome. Now, you just came back from Haiti, correct?
Yes. I just got back from Haiti last Monday, somewhere around there. It was fun. It was an amazing trip, very eye-opening. Working with some chefs from all over. We had chefs that were from Santiago. We had chefs from Haiti, chefs from Montreal, Canada, from California, from Miami. I mean, from Carolina. It was just great.
And everyone could. I bet the food was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was fun. We work with the regular food that is from Haiti, the local cuisine, and we just put a big twist on everything that we did. For me, it was very exciting because I had a chance to cook in another country for different people that don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have no idea who I am except for, you know, the press that was being put out there, and they enjoyed my food.
Now, when you cook, do you try to make your foods as healthy as possible?
You know, I have to say, I cook. My food is just food. It's just good food. From time to time, how to eat healthy and how to cook healthy. And I can do this because, like I said, I have my own line of spices called Southern Passion. It's all salt free. You know, and at times I cook healthy for the client. Sometimes I cook healthy for me, and then sometimes I cook healthy just to make that dish healthy. It'll be a typical local dish, and I just want to put my own little spin on it. So it just all depends. I just enjoy cooking. I just really do enjoy it.
And I'm pretty sure I love to eat. A lot of people do. How did you get your passion for cooking?
Well, it all stemmed from my mother and my grandmother. When I was young, for those who have not met me or seen me, even when you see pictures of me, I am not as tall as you think I am. I met people and they're like, I thought you'd be taller than that. No, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'1", but I used to get picked on a lot, and so I would spend a lot of time in the kitchen, hiding from the bullies. And my mom, I would go in the house telling my mom, my grandmother that no one would let me play any of the sports, or I would get picked on and everything like that. And my mom and my grandmother always say, well, come on in the kitchen, and one day you'll find something that everybody wants you to be a part of. Mm-hmm. And I just stayed in the kitchen. And it's at first it was a safe haven for me. It was a hideaway from the bullies. And then it just became like I really enjoyed it, and, creating flavors and having that instant gratification that, oh, my God, that's some great food. So it's just fun.
Now, what flavors? You grew up in the South, so it was mostly Southern, or was it different types of foods that you would cook?
No. I grew up in the South, but I grew up with, like I said, my between Puerto Rican and Southern cuisine. That was my first interaction with fusion cuisine. So that's why, my cooking style is world fusion. So I'll do Puerto Rican food with a little Southern, and a little Southern with a little Puerto Rican. And now I do everything from Japanese to Puerto Rican and blend them together. I love flavors. There's so many flavors around the world that I personally don't want to get pigeonholed into saying, oh, Chef Amadeus, he cooks Southern food, or he cooks Puerto Rican food. I want to be known, for the flavors that I create. I have a client that I cook for in Seattle that he always says when he introduces me to his clients when I cook for him that you may not like what you're about to have, but I can guarantee you've never had it before. So,
that's good.
He say, you may not like what you're going to eat, but I can guarantee you've never had it before. That's because with him, I go shopping. I've been cooking for him for, I want to say, almost 7 years, and I just go shopping. I have no idea what I'll make. He'll tell me how many people. So I go and grab enough food to feed that many guests, and I show up, put everything on the counter, and look at them like, all right, now let me figure out what I'm going to make.
Mhm.
And I bring, when I go from city to city, I work with different culinary students. And the culinary students will go shopping with me and everything, and they look at me and say, "You have no idea what you're making?" I said, "No, I have no idea." So how do you know what to buy? I'm like, I need a start, I need some veggies, and I need a protein, and I need dessert. And I just I just buy that stuff and, like, have no idea whatsoever. Even when I'm cooking, it changes. It won't get, finalized until it goes on the plate and it's out. And even when it's out, I'm like, man, I should have put this on there and I should have did this, and I take notes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do that.
So how would you help just an everyday person? What would you say for an everyday person that just had to cook for a family who just runs to the grocery store and picks up meat? Pick up a vegetable and a starch, and they're trying to eat healthy. What are some of the options that they could use? Because let's just be honest, we all can't just look at the food, throw it on the counter like you, and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna throw this together."
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you this. So I have a cookbook that I'm working on. And so let's back up. So I won, on 2011, I won Extreme Chef on the Food Network, okay?
Okay.
And the one thing that came out of that, me personally, besides winning, was that every chef has a philosophy on a cooking style, on their cooking style, okay, no matter what it is. And when you're, I always say you can't testify until you've been tested.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to be tested with my philosophy in cooking, and my philosophy in cooking is you just cook from the heart. Just as long as you have flavors that don't go together, and you find a way to make them go together. Like the winning dish that I did, it was a dulce de leche crusted skirt steak. Okay, and when I made this dish, it was a dulce de leche skirt steak with a charred salsa and with pepitas on top. And what was interesting about this was I won. Now, when I put that on there, everybody was like, I would have never done that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I tell people, learn. It's more about, for me personally, it's more about technique than a recipe. So I tell the average person, don't worry about the recipe. Man, the recipe is not that important. It's the technique. For example, if you know how to make a lasagna, okay, simple lasagna. Let's change the ingredients, not the technique. You can make whatever you want. So there's a Puerto Rican dish. It's called pastelón, and what it is instead of using pasta, you use sweet plantains cut the long way and sliced thin. So instead of putting down pasta, you put down the plantain. Instead of making a meat sauce, you cook the ground beef or turkey or ground chicken or whatever you want. You season that with a sofrito. So anytime you make it a Puerto Rican dish, you're cooking with sofrito. That is the base of all Puerto Rican cuisine. If you make a good sofrito, oh my God, you can wake the dead with the flavor of sofrito.
Now what is that?
Sofrito is it is onions, peppers, tomato, garlic, cilantro, olive oil. Some people put tomatoes in it, some people don't. It's sort of like a salsa, but in Puerto Rican cuisine, it's the culantro some people use cilantro if you can't find it in the States. Like in the States, I put cilantro in it, but it's just garlic, tomato, peppers, onions. It just this amazing flavors that when you hit it, and when I say it fuses well. When I was in Haiti, I did a dish. I made a coffee crusted duck breast.
Mm-hmm.
I seared it, sliced it thin. I served it with a caramelized onion puree with what they call, here's the funny thing, in America they call them grits. In Haiti they call them maïs malou, which is which is ground corn. Well, we made the yellow grits, and I added the sofrito to that, and everyone loved it. They thought it was just like absolutely wonderful. And in the sofrito, I added my spice, Lil Bump, which is a Cajun seasoning with no salt in it, and it's that one flavor, one spice that you grab and just add a little bump to it. And in that spice, there's black, white, red pepper, oregano, thyme, basil, onion, and garlic. So you get that and just hit it with the sofrito, and then you add it to the maíz malou, and it's absolutely wonderful. So I mean, it's just. Then in Haiti, I came across this mushroom. It's called jonjon, D-J-O-N, jonjon, and it is it's a black mushroom that is. And when the first time I had it, it was made with rice, the jonjon rice, and amazing flavor. Because when I had it, like, so what else is in this? Oh, it's just the mushrooms. You've got to be kidding me. It's like there's more flavor in this jonjon rice than like what? You've got to be kidding me. So like I said, just working with the different flavors, the technique. The same technique with different ingredients. Like you make rice. You just make it with jonjon. And with the jonjon, it's always dry. So you rehydrate it with the water, and then you just get that water and you'll make rice with it. You'll make jonjon risotto. You'll make jonjon grits. It just the chef at the hotel that I was staying at Caribe, she made jonjon linguine, which was served with lobster. So I didn't eat the lobster because I'm allergic to shellfish, but the jonjon linguine was absolutely wonderful.
Well, that sounds good. You're saying, so we can make all these meals as long as we keep the technique, but just change up the ingredients. So how long does it take to prepare meals like this? Oh,
listen, here's the thing. I can do meals. I can honestly and truly do meals in 30 minutes. Not what you see on television, because on television, what's interesting about television, it's just television. Some of those things, because when you walk into your refrigerator, you don't see everything, right, reach in your refrigerator and you grab everything out, everything's already washed and everything like that. No. Here's what I do. I have clients that I teach how to, create these quick dinners. And to give yourself a little boost is, you have, like, I'm always having either rice or pasta in the refrigerator already cooked, because I like rice dishes and I like pasta dishes, so I have those cooked.
How do you keep those from drying out? Because I'll cook rice. Oh, really? Because I'll cook rice or spaghetti or linguine, and I'll put it in the refrigerator and pull it back out the next day, and it'd be like, ew. It comes out in one big lump.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting, though. When you make your rice, you can make your rice, and when it's done, the first day you cook it, when it's done, if you were to treat it like a pasta, And what I mean by that is if you get it and when it's done and everything, pour it on a sheet pan. And let it and let it cool and drizzle olive oil on it, and then put it in the refrigerator. It won't be as starchy as as that big clump of rice. So then when it's cooled down and everything, and you put it in the refrigerator, when you go to get it, you can pick it up and go with it like that.
See, I would have never thought of course.
And with pasta. With pasta, all you do is, if you want pasta like macaroni or whatever pasta you like, cook it, but don't cook it all the way. Don't cook the pasta all the way. Cook it till it's almost like 3/4 of the way done. So when you taste, you're like, it needs to be cooked some more. All right, cool. So, and here's why. Because let's say you make a penne pasta. The next day, you can make a tomato sauce and put the pasta in there and let it finish cooking in the tomato sauce.
Okay.
So, like I said, just a lot of those kind of tricks that you can do. And I get hit up a lot. I get hit up a lot on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Chef Amadeus, and people ask me a lot about, the dishes that I cook. I always comment on them. You can follow me on Instagram at Chef Amadeus. I get hit up on when I post my pictures on Instagram. I mean, people are like, man, like I sit at home. Like today, if you go to my Instagram pictures that I had on yesterday, I love cooking outdoors. So I cooked yesterday. I made a pork stir fry yesterday over open fire. I had my cast iron pan. I'm a big fan of cast iron pans, and I made I had some leftover pork. I had some leftover rice. I had some green beans, and instead of I love to cook so much that instead of me just throwing that together on the stove, I went outside. I'm in Florida, so it's very nice outside. So I built a fire, put my cast iron pot there, let it get nice and hot, and made this quick pork stir fry.
Wow. Yeah, I think you posted that on Facebook as well. I saw it on Facebook. I was like, look at him. He out there with his cast iron skillet.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, I love my cast irons. I have a Dutch oven. I have two big Dutch ovens. Well, I have one big Dutch oven, have a smaller Dutch oven. I have a cast iron wok that I just love cooking in on open fire. Oh, yeah. Just build the fire and pop that thing right there in there and just let it just get hot.
Is there a reason why, like, you go to the store to get some pots and pans and you read and how the heat is conducted a certain way, and is that why you prefer, like, cast iron skillet, or?
I like cast iron skillets because it's a cast iron skillet, and you can't damage it. The heat is even throughout the whole entire. When you heat a cast iron Dutch oven or skillet or anything like that, the heat is distributed evenly throughout the whole thing. And when you got those Teflon pans, those nonstick things, everybody who's listening that has cast iron, they know that you can have a nonstick cast iron pan. And all you do is, once it's well seasoned, like when I lived in Seattle, I had a skillet that I would literally leave on the stove all day long, and I could crack an egg, get an egg over easy, and make a pancake, and I didn't have to use any oil or very little oil. I mean, my pots that I have now. It's building this well seasoned skin to it that it's just amazing. I love cooking at them. I have a my skillet. I cook my eggs on there, scrambled eggs, and it's just amazing. They're just fun to cook with.
Yeah, I know a little bit about cast iron. You also have to take care of it as well.
Oh,
all right.
You take care of it. Yeah, if you take care of your cast iron, it will take care of you.
Yes. So how do you keep vegetables good? Because when I cook vegetables, I probably cook them too long, or put them up too early. I don't know, but they don't.
Well,
go ahead.
Here's the thing. If you cook in a vegetable, this is how you know you overcooked it. If you cook greens and it turns brown, you overcooked it. Greens are meant to be green when you eat them. Because if you overcook them, you're just cooking all the nutrients out.
Right.
You don't want to do that. You want to cook greens and with green beans. You don't want brown green beans. You want green beans.
True. So if I was to go ahead.
So when you cook green beans, just keep in mind that you want to cook them until they're done with a little bite to them. That's pretty much it.
But warming them up the next day, that will cook them some more, or they will still have that crunchiness, or that will be the same. Okay.
No. If you want your vegetables to stay crunchy or whatever, they will lose some of the like I say, if you're leftovers, like I say, you just want to be able to heat them up. If you don't overcook them, the first day, the second day they shouldn't be overcooked.
Right. Okay.
So that's pretty much what it comes down to is, just watch how you cooking. One of the things you can do. Now, let me ask you this: when you cooking your vegetables, are you cooking? Well, what's your favorite vegetable to cook?
Oh, I love broccoli.
Okay. When you cook your broccoli, all you have to do is, if you steam them or boil them, but I would tell you the best thing to do is, since a broccoli is not that hard to cook, I would just, cook what you need that day.
Yeah. But, we're so busy in life, and sometimes we just have to try to cook ahead. And all my vegetables that I cook, I steam. So I don't boil any vegetables. So I'll steam them and they'll stay. But sometimes I go a little overboard with the broccoli and go the next day and be like, ooh, I steamed them a little too long.
Okay, well, you know what? Here's something what you can do then. If you steam them and you say they're a little steamed, what is your what's the word I'm looking for? Are they really soft?
Yeah, sometimes. If I'm in a rush, yeah. If I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Okay, well, this is.
But I like my vegetables crunchy because I like the crunchiness.
All right, so I'm gonna share what you can do to bring some what to do with these leftover soft broccoli that you have. So when you have your soft broccoli, now when they're soft, they're really, really soft.
Yeah, we'll say they're really, really soft.
All right, here's what you do.
Make a
get that broccoli. No, don't throw it away. Here's the thing: get that broccoli, and I want you to mush it up, mash it up, and you'll add egg white to it. You'll add, you can put some, and you want you to season it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you season it, I recommend that you use my spice, a little bump with this. with a little Chino 5. And the Chino 5, it gives a cinnamon flavor to it. But what you do is mash it up, and then you're going to add the egg white to it. You're going to add some seasoning to it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get a hot skillet, put some oil in it, and you're going to make these into broccoli pancakes.
Mmm. Okay, you know you're going to have to email me that recipe, right? Because I was not writing that down.
Here's the thing. You don't have to write it down. Mash it up.
Yeah.
Mash up the broccoli. Season it however you want. Add the egg to it. And what the egg is going to do is just a binder.
Yeah.
And if you want it a little thicker, you can add just a little bit of brown rice flour to it, just to give it that consistency that you want. And the batter will look like a pancake batter. And there you have a broccoli pancake, and then you can make them the size of, I would say like a 50-cent piece or bigger. Make little small mini pancakes. And then you can get, your protein. You can get some shrimp. Saute some shrimp up with a little bump, a little olive oil, squeeze the orange, squeeze the lemon juice, saute it up, put it on top of that. Now you got a broccoli pancake with a little quick shrimp scampi with it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do.
I see. So if you're, go ahead.
Well, like I said, it's all in the technique. It's not about, recipes. Because I just did a recipe for Health Source magazine here in Jacksonville. And the dish I did, it's a chicken and spinach stir fry with a apple and tomato salsa.
That sounds good.
It's not that hard. It's just really getting in there, and just you can take out the apple and add in celery. So it's just that crunch, that texture that you're looking for.
Mhm.
So like I say, just really, when I go to different cities, I always have folks that say, hey, since you come into my town, can you come by and do a quick little demo for us? I'm like, yeah. So I go to people's homes and I show them how to really get in there and find those flavors. And the cool thing about it is, so I have something that's called a door knock session. Well, I'll show up at your house and I'll cook whatever you have in your house. Okay?
Mhm.
So, and it all comes down to technique. And I've done things with, like someone had goat cheese, and I was like, okay, so I got that goat cheese. I put it in the freezer, and I got Honey Nut Cheerios, ground that up, and I ground it up, seasoned it with a little bump, and I got the goat cheese, took it out the freezer, sliced it into little rings, and I breaded the goat cheese with the Honey Nut Cheerios, and I seared it, dipped it in an egg, dipped it in Cheerios, and I seared it, and I topped that with some smoked salmon and what else was I did? Yeah, topped with smoked salmon, little creme fraiche. Very simple.
Yeah, that is simple.
So, like I say, you just have to be creative.
Even when you're eating on a budget, you can still be that creative?
Oh, yeah. You can be more creative. Because here's the thing. The door knock sessions, people always ask me and say, how do you be that creative with nothing? And I always tell them, I grew up with a plastic spoon in my mouth, and I had to wash that and give it back to my neighbors. So we were always, trying to be creative with, little things. My mom always said, we wasn't that poor. And we wasn't. But like I say, just being creative with certain things, it puts you in that mind where, like, if you go to the grocery store to eat healthy, all you do is shop around the store. Don't go down the aisles. Shop around the store. So go to the produce area, go get your meats. You see, everything is not processed. When you start going down the middle of the aisles, that's when everything gets processed and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So you can go get, like I say, if you're trying to eat healthy, you can literally go get, if you go down the produce, you get you some corn. You could get corn, celery, peppers, onions. Saute that up. Get you some fish. Grill it and season that with some a little olive oil, a little bump, or my curry powder. Sear it, put it on a plate, and get the corn and everything, and saute that up and pour it on top, and you're done. Very simple.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times, I think that's what scares a lot of people is that when they start thinking about the meals that they have to cook, we always go towards, like, the easy things that they have in the processed aisles, which is like a can of spaghetti and a box of spaghetti noodles. And it's like, yeah, we're having spaghetti. When you can go to the produce if you're trying to eat healthy and shop on the outskirts of the store and create the same meal, as you were saying, the technique is the same, but switch it up.
Right.
And you can eat a healthier meal and feed your family and be less expensive.
Well, yeah. Like, here's the thing. If you want a tomato sauce, all you need is tomatoes, some garlic, some onions, some basil, and there's your tomato sauce. I season everything a lot. I use my spice little bump a lot for everything. So I'll get onions, some peppers, some tomatoes, some garlic, put in there, saute it up. Put it in, season up with the little bump, and then for that freshness, you get some fresh basil leaves, and right at the end, hit it with some fresh basil, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of sea salt, and there's your tomato sauce. And you can put that over with pasta, toss some pasta with that, or you can just get that sauce and let it cook and put some shrimp in there. Now you got this dish with, this shrimp and tomato sauce. So, I mean,
go ahead.
So you have to be creative with, like I said, a lot of people just never thought about making their own tomato sauce.
Right, because, you look at it and it's like, what do I do? How do I prepare it? What do I, and like you said, we're so accustomed, we're non-cooks. We need recipes. Like, okay, how many tomatoes do I need? How many cloves of garlic? But what you're saying is just go make it. And as you're making it, it'll come together.
Oh, yeah. Well, and here's some rule of thumb for you. Like I said, all this stuff and a lot more would be in my book. But, when you make a tomato sauce. So how many people do you cook for at your house?
3.
3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Adults or kids?
Me and my 2 kids.
How old are your kids?
17 and 11.
Oh, wow. Okay. So when you're making these the tomato sauces, put it to you like this, especially you got young kids. Just do 1 tomato per kid, per person.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's how you make the base of a tomato sauce.
Okay.
Just make it simple.
Right.
Just make it really simple. I got 3 people. Let's do 3 tomatoes. And you got teenagers, so they don't eat.
Actually, the 11-year-old, the boy eats more than the 17-year-old.
Oh, Lord. So, you see what I'm saying? So you just have to really, whatever you have, like a lot of people use, the pre-made sauces, tomato sauces or whatever. I love to go to the farmer's market. You have a farmer's market that you can go and visit, right?
Yeah. Finley Market, or we have like I know of 2 or 3 places where they'll be on certain places around the city, and then we have like farmer markets at different neighborhoods. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for so that I can visit farmer markets.
Right. So if you go to farmer's market, I mean that's a chef's paradise right there, because you can get fresh things. And here's the thing: fresh carrots from the garden, from a farmer's market, has a totally different taste than carrots you find in the store.
Why is that? Uh-oh, you're going to tell the supermarket secrets. Watch out.
Okay, so I'm not a tomato guy. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. But there's a farmer that is in Washington State called Highwater Farmer. I'm sitting at his farm eating tomatoes in the garden, get a knife, slice it, and eat it just like that. The reason is most of this produce that you get comes from somewhere else. So they'll pick it, gas it, and put it on a truck. And, you'll get it that way. Versus when you go to a farmer's market or to a farm to pick your produce, it's coming straight out the ground. Because here's another thing is, when you see produce from a farm, like carrots. Let's take carrots. Carrots not from a farm don't all come the same shape and size. Right. Okay. They're very abstract, some fat, some skinny, whatever like that. But the flavor, I challenge everybody, to see what the flavors are. If you go to a grocery store and you go to the farmer's market, go to the farmer's market and get, whatever's locally grown. Go to the farmer's market and get that. Okay? Okay. Then go to the grocery store and get the same exact item. Cook it the same exact way. Wow. You'd be like, wait a minute. Something different here. Yeah. If you go get corn, just take corn. You go get corn from the farmer's market, and you go get corn from the store, and you use the fresh corn in a salsa, and you do the same thing with the corn from the store, it's a totally different thing. Yeah, I can understand that. So, I'm always, when I go to different cities, I always try and find local produce. So I work with the local chefs. I call chefs up and like, hey, I'm coming to town. Where can I go get some fresh, whatever? And they're like, this is where we go get our fish from. This is where we go our meat, our produce, the farms, and things of that nature. So for all your listeners, highly recommend that you go get go and hang out with the farmers. Find out where the chefs go get their food from. So if you go to what can I tell you to go? Slow Food USA. Go to that website, Slow Food USA, and every city has a farm to table program going on. That's where the chefs go. That's where the chefs go and get a lot of their meats from, and things of that nature.
Have you heard of green bean delivery?
No, I haven't, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the same process that goes on in every city. Whatever is it where you go get the local farmer will just give you a basket every week, and it's whatever they have in their garden.
No, it's not. It's a company that delivers fresh, organic fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. Well, that service is done all over the country. When I was in Seattle, there's you go to Pike Place Market and do the same thing. Here in Jacksonville, there's a company that do the same thing. Whatever's in the farmer's garden that week, that's what they put in your basket and put a couple of recipes in there and things of that nature. And that's a good way to get your fresh vegetables. That's a really great way to get your fresh vegetables. You can, it's like this. If you try celery straight from a farm and you get celery straight from the grocery store, you're like, wait a minute, this celery is kind of strong. That's what real celery tastes like.
Okay.
Yeah, the flavor in. Yeah, so I would, like I say, go hang out at the farmer's market, and make sure your farmer's market is a true farmer's market and not one that has been, what's the word I'm looking for? That is just produce that's been brought in to sell. And you can tell because like whoever's selling it to you at your farmer's market, they can tell you everything about it. They can tell you everything, how it was grown, the soil, all that. They can tell you all that good stuff.
So we want to make sure we ask questions. Now you were talking about your bump spices, and so tell us about your spices.
So I have a line of spices. The whole line is called Southern Passion. Southern Passion is my thing. And what's funny about that is everybody assumes that I cook, I'm Mr. Southern, soul food kind of cooking. And I always tell them, Southern Passion is not a state, it's a state of mind. So Southern Passion has the Little Bump, the Dos Maria, which is named after my mom and my grandmother, which is a curry powder, and then the Chino 5, which is a cinnamon-based spice. And now that the holidays are coming up, the Chino 5, it's a lot of people call it Christmas in a bottle because when you smell it, it smells like Christmas time. So anytime you want to make, your candied yams, apple pie, sweet potato pies, and anything like that, anything done with cinnamon, that's what you use that for. And a lot of people use the Chino 5 simply just to have oatmeal with it. They eat their oatmeal with it. And then there's some folks that use the Chino 5 just to make their house smell good. So they'll put that in some water and boil it, and that's what they have when you walk into their home. I do that.
Wow. Okay. Now, all of your spices are salt-free, correct?
Yes, all of them are salt-free. And the thing I tell folks is I don't put salt in my spices because I want you to have the option of how much salt that you put in your food. Because when you buy these other spices, they are you don't know how much salt is in them.
Yeah, because a lot of Go ahead.
What happens is this. You'll say, "Oh, I'm trying to cut back on my salt." All right, cool. So then you'll get you'll make a dish and everything, especially when you're getting things that are already pre-made, like the tomato sauce. If you get a pre-made tomato sauce, that has sodium in it already. And then you'll get the pasta, and then in that pasta, you'll add salt in that pasta water, okay? And then when you go to saute, your vegetables and everything like that, you add a little salt to that. So now you got salt in 3 different ways. So you may have your tomato sauce may have 5% sodium in it, but then you putting sodium in your pasta, you putting sodium in whatever your vegetables that you're cooking with. And then on top of that, then you have, let's say you just do some bread. There's more sodium in that. You put a butter. There's more sodium in that. So you see how your sodium content can just stack up like dirty laundry?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what you try to avoid. Like I do a dish, it's a pecan rice. And the cool thing about this, there's no salt in the pecan rice, but I serve it with a lime. And what that lime does is, when I serve it to you like this, it tastes good, but it's missing something. So what is missing is some kind of acid, and what it is, you put that on there, and it'll bring out the flavor. So you just squeeze that lime on there, and that's what you have. So I use a lot of citrus instead of using a lot of salt.
Now, citrus works with a lot of different foods, or you have to be careful with citrus?
No, I use it for everything.
Everything? Okay. Now, what about like organic?
Okay. What about organic?
Is it really truly organic foods out there, or is that just, because you hear sometimes that that's a myth, they have to use some type of chemical to keep the bugs off, or there's, a different chemical that they use. Or basically, do you think organic is full of hype, or is that a true organic food is out there?
Well, there is organic food out there, but then again, here's the thing. Organic means that, you'll get some pesticides in your food because there's no chemicals or no anything like that, which is not a bad thing. Some of the produce that you get out there has been sitting, in a truck, has been gassed, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the old new thing right now is farm to table. So you go to a farm, get your vegetables, and you cook it to the table. Know how far your food has been. Is your tomatoes coming from, California when you live in Ohio? How far is your food coming? And the closer you get it to your table, the better it is.
Makes sense. Never thought about it that way.
So if you're going, let's say, what is Ohio known for?
As far as vegetables, I really don't know, to be honest.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. That's why you have to, I tell people all the time, if you build a relationship with your meat mongers, your seafood mongers, and all that stuff, they can tell you, well, this, like when you go to the grocery store, ask them, has this been frozen? Or normally they say previously frozen. Ask them what has come in fresh. What comes in fresh? If they tell you nothing, think about that. Find you a fish store that is an independent fish store, but all they do is sell seafood. And when you go in there, what do you guys get in fresh? Or what's a local fish? And this is local. We get that, but it's frozen because we have to get that in from wherever. Once you start building a relationship with the fishmonger, then you'll know what's fresh. You'll know how far it came. Same thing with your meat. Some butchers you go to, they'll tell you, what, there's a farm, 25 miles outside of town that we get all our meats from. There's a farm we get it's 50 miles out of town. At least you know that you're buying local.
Right. That's really interesting.
You can do that with your meat. You can do that with your produce, your seafood. your honey, your juice. I mean, just everything.
Right, know where your food is coming from. Because I never thought of you. Just go to this local grocery store and pick up what you need and out the door.
Well, you know, just think about the Brady Bunch. And when Alice would go to the butcher, she got everything she needed right there.
Right, she did.
And not only, and when you go to these markets and things like that to get this fresh stuff, ask them, you know, different ways to cook the produce. Find out how the meat mongers, the fish mongers, how they cook their food. And
yeah, we'll have to have
some fun, if you really want to have some fun, find out from find some hunters or some fishermen and say, hey, how do you cook your fish? You know, they do it quick and simple. They're not trying to put all the bells and whistles on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, you know, to all your listeners that are out there, if you follow me on Twitter at Chef Amadeus and you have questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on my website at chefamadeus.com. It's being I'm revamping it right now because I do a lot of my own, you know, I do my own website, but I'm revamping it now. But and I get a lot of emails. So if you want to hit me up on email at chefamadeus@gmail.com. And of course, I have a radio show as well. It's called the Southern Passion Lounge. It's every Monday from 4 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. And we have chefs on there that talk about everything from food, wine, you know, what they're doing. And you can call into my show as well and, you know, talk to the chefs. So my show is all about the industry. So I have people from all over the country, all over the world that comes on and talk about food. So, you know, I'm all about educating the listeners about food, wine, food events, wine events, and things of that nature.
Yeah, because that's how I found you, by going into the food part category and just popping in and listening to the shows. Well, this has been encouraging and enlightening because I learned a lot about my grocery store, that some questions I should be asking that I didn't.
Well, you know what? Here's something else too. Before we go, I want you to do this. When you go to the grocery store, I don't care what grocery store, what chain, or whatever. When you see that produce person out there putting out fresh produce, ask them about the produce. Ask them, say, hey, if you don't see a particular produce or you want something different or better, ask them, hey, do you have any you know, lemons better than this? Any melons? Some grocery stores you can ask them, say, hey, do you have a melon that I can try? Oh yeah, they'll go back there and cut it for you. So you have to build that relationship with those folks that are out there working at the store, because the stores have no problem working with you because they want you to come back to that store, and they know that you coming in like, hey, you know, talking to them, say, hey, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Where can I get this from? Do you guys have this? And they're like, well, yeah, we have that. Let me go in the back and see what I can get for you.
Yes. Well, we're coming down to the end. Once again, I really appreciate you coming on to the show. So tell us really quick, once again, how to contact you.
You can contact me through Twitter at Chef Amadeus, Instagram, Chef Amadeus, my website at chefamadeus.com. You can send me an email at chefamadeus@gmail.com.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on, enlightening us. And once again, join us every Sunday on Blog Talk Radio, Endless Encouragement. Also visit our website, learningthelord.com, and as well as our Facebook page, facebook.com/Learning the Lord. Once again, Chef Amadeus, thank you very much for telling us what we need to do to make sure that we are eating healthy. And I hope that you have a great week.
Thank you very much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.